Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news. Today, I wanted to talk about the beloved Banu merchantman unfortunately pausing its production, but also a bit of a highlight about what's going on throughout this week in Star Citizen news. We have had some players being confused about when the Drake Expo was, claims timers being partially resolved for people that didn't want to wait too long. Alpha 3.19.1's on the PTU, and we've got loads of ships in development, which I want to talk about as well. So from the latest Star Citizen newsletter, free fly at Invictus Launch Week. Invictus Launch Week continues until the 30th of May. Head to Area 18 ArcCorp to experience the latest and greatest military-inspired vehicles, including the newly announced Tumbril Storm and RSI Lynx. And don't miss out on the grand finale on the 29th of May, when every flyable ship and drivable ground vehicle featured during the event will be available to test for free. Plus, Drake Interplanetary's own ship show, DefenseCon, disrupts the scene this weekend, taking over the Area 18 Rikers Memorial Spaceport. So people were confused about the DefenseCon location. Not everyone, just some people, and it's reasonable as well. So I saw a lot of people saying that elevators weren't working at the Expo Center when Drake DefenseCon had started, and I realized that a lot of people were talking about the other convention center because they hadn't realized that Drake DefenseCon was at a different location from the rest of the expo. So it's at the spaceport instead. And that's not really signpost until you actually get to the spaceport. The signposts for the normal expo, the Invictus Fleet Week Expo, are still up and pointing you effectively to the wrong area. Fleet Week is coming to an end on Tuesday the 30th of May. You will be able to rent all previous Fleet Week ships from the kiosks, I believe, where the Drake DefenseCon stuff is. So bear that in mind, and you should be able to purchase all those ships that were previously available as well on the RSI website up until the 30th. Obviously, if anything was limited hull, like the Krakens, whatever, or the Idrises and Javelins, they've all sold out now. And talking about things selling out, Cloud Imperium have made around 15 million so far in May 2023, and might make as much as 17 million by my estimates before the end of the month. But this is around 4 million lower than the previous year during May, and this is due to a load of factors, including, in my opinion, a terrible 3.18 patch cycle in terms of playability and stability. I do think that 3.19's cycle should be just significantly better than 3.18's deployment. We should see lots of events like Xenothreat and Jumptown and all that sort of jazz. There was some moderately good news as well to address some of the issues that 3.19 has. So 3.19.1 is on the PTU at the moment in testing. By my estimates, it's probably going to be deployed once Fleet Week is done, so potentially sometime next week, probably the latter half of the week. Along with fixing a myriad of bugs and performance issues, it also sort of reduces ship claim timers again. So in 3.19, they went, you know what you like? Waiting. You like waiting for your ships to spawn and spending more money to expedite them and still having longer times on the expedited times than previously. Obviously, not too many people were happy about that. Some people didn't care. Some people were like, well, it gives you a sense of loss or whatever. But others, including myself, we're playing alpha game. We don't think that the game is developed enough to have sort of long ship timers and a sense of loss yet, because I want to play the game. I want to test out bugs. There's no useful information that I can see from testing lengths of insurance claims at this particular stage when we don't have a dynamic economy or anything like that. So yeah, they've lowered them a reasonable amount again. They're still not as low as they were previously, and I'm hoping that Cloud Imperium take this further, because they did say they would be monitoring the situation and maybe making more changes in the short term. It's just incredibly frustrating in Star Citizen when you lose your ship due to a bug, and having an additional sort of extra time having to wait could mean that you have to wait minutes or potentially even hours effectively for your ship if it's like an 890 jump or something, which is just not really fair. It gets in the way of playing the game, right? We recently covered ships that were in active development as well, so check out my video on that if you're interested. But to go into a bit more detail about a few things that were recently talked about, including with the Banu merchantman. So the production for the ship has paused for the Banu merchantman. CIG are expanding out their vehicle team at the moment. Recently, with the Montreal vehicle team, they're going to be making an additional second and third teams in the UK as well. Capital ships, they take a very long time, and they very much see the Banu merchantman as a capital ship. And they also, when they build capital ships out, they prepare the pipeline for future capital ships from the same manufacturer or that are similar. They are building towards being able to produce the same amount of ships as they are currently making each year, at least the same amount, plus another 1 to 2 capital ships a year. Obviously, they might allocate resources in different areas, and they might have a year where they produce loads of sub-capital class ships and no capital classes, or maybe a couple of capital classes and less sub-capital class ships. So they're looking at the backlog of capital ships, and they're going to start with RSI. So they want to do the Polaris, and then that helps them get the Perseus and Galaxy done as well, because those three are likely going to be chained together because they share sort of assets and dependencies. Bam, they've got the Polaris done, they can actually build the Perseus and then the Galaxy all in relatively short order afterwards. The Banu Merchantman is problematic in regards to efficiency and where it fits into the schedule. It is very, very unique. It is a bespoke ship that doesn't follow any other art guidelines or have a developed pipeline. The only other ship they've really got that's sort of anywhere close to it is the Banu Defender, and really it's just a significantly different beast from that. Its assets will not be used anywhere else, potentially as part of Banu architecture and future style guides. Admittedly, it might be used for that, but pretty much all the individual parts of the ship, they are unique, they're bespoke. It doesn't use modular pieces either. It's a massive project and does not immediately allow them to go, bam, let's use this for something else. So they did have a team working on it a little while ago. Unfortunately, some of that team had left. They will be doing the Banu Merchantman again at some point, but they want to get other capital ships out that help them with getting even more ships out first. Stuff that helps develop the pipeline, stuff that helps with efficiencies. It will be potentially the hardest, most complex ship they do. Now, they said that. I think actually the hardest, most complex ship they do is probably going to be the Orion, just because of its size and its sort of scope, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will be the Banu Merchantman. Over the next year, various backlog ships should start production as well, including the Polaris, Apollo, Raylan, G12, and X1. So some other highlights from what we learned from Star Citizen Live. Retaliator Gold Standard will work its way into the persistent universe once it's now done for its Squadron 42 implementation. The SRV has just finished its art and design phase. Santok Yai, that medium Xi'an fighter, is showing an update for Alien Week that's going to be in a couple of weeks. There are a couple of redacted ships in production, as is the Hull C, which is just finishing up work, the Spirit, the Storm, and some other ship variants too. Something else that we saw through the week was the RSI Lynx Luxury Rover being added to the game. Players that have the Phoenixes will be getting one of those for free. To me, I prefer the Ursa, and I say that, I prefer pretty much any of the other ground vehicles. I love the tumble sort of Cyclones, that sort of stuff, and really, really am liking the look of the other thing that they've got that they revealed, which was the concept of the Storm. The Tumbrel Storm is a single operator light tank that's gone through Grey Box already, so they are powering through that. Those are both on sale on the RSI website currently, and if you buy them with bonbons, they get lifetime insurance, so they're great little lifetime insurance tokens there. Lots of stuff's on sale until the 30th, so remember that. From the sneak peek in the newsletter this week, we saw some giant cargo containers. I think they're also in the new sort of underground facilities that are being developed as well. But yeah, these are giant cargo containers that hopefully will be able to be moved around by us in the future. Boom! That's it for your news this week. What are your thoughts on the Banu Merchantman? Are you really upset with Cloud Imperium's decision to pause that and sort of prioritize other things that they think will be better for the health of the ship pipeline, I suppose, because they want to be pumping out ships that once they've finished that, like the Polaris, they can then build the Perseus, then they build the Galaxy, and that sort of helped in production because they've built a load of shared assets like doors? Or are you hurt? I have been wounded by them not Banu Merchantmaning. What have your experiences of Fleet Week been like? Have you been enjoying it? Have you tried Star Citizen for the first time? What ships have you been renting? Have you bought anything? Have you been playing 3.19.1 on the PTU? And what are your experiences of that? What do you think about the insurance timers, those ship claim timers? What ship are you most looking forward to being added to the game? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, but give him a NordVPN subscription using nordvpn.com/BoredGamer or the links below, and he'll browse the internet more safely and with greater accessibility for a lifetime, or at least until his subscription ends. He can then shop for his own fish from places like Tesco's, Walmart, or Asda or something. It also makes a fantastic gift. Next time you go to a dinner party or a wedding, bring them a NordVPN subscription. Bam! You'll be the talk of the town, and it's certainly better than bringing a fish. Please remember to like and subscribe, and if you'd like to go further to support the channel, then use that join button under my videos or the Patreon links below. That would be amazing. It goes a long way to helping Zin and I be able to create daily videos, and you'll get some exclusive perks, including some videos, posts, and polls to help guide the channel. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For May, it's for an Origin 400i, the luxury exploration touring ship capable of taking 3 crew to distant stars. It also comes with lifetime insurance and a Star Citizen game package. To be in for a chance of winning that, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details down below. Thanks very much for watching. I hope to see you in the verse.